This video is all about the different agent types or agent classification. We're going to start with the different components of an AI agent. Then we're going to look into the different features of an AI agent. Then we're going to move on to the core classification itself. And that can be broadly classified into 5 types based on their level of intelligence and their interaction with the environment, how autonomously they can interact with the environment and make their decisions. So let's get started. So let's start by looking into the different components of AI agents. The AI agent has an environment where it interacts with. So in case of LLM, it will probably be the user who interacts via an user interface, but there will be some form of environment. For example, in case of an autonomous vehicle, the environment is pretty much the people walking around, the cars, and everything that's there in the road. At the heart of the agent, we have the model, which is bringing in all the intelligence. But at a basic level, we need not have a model. It could be just a condition action loop, as we'll see in the simple form of agents. But the agent definitely has a persona and it's self-directed. It kind of makes some sort of decisions. It directs itself to do something. And then it has access to some tools. For example, in case of LLM again, it can have access to browser. It can have access to calculator to do some computations. And it also has some planning element, meaning that, it can come up with a few actions, action A, action B, and then decide, okay, action B is better than action A. And it decides to do action B instead of A. And it also has memory to store the intermediate states. As we will see in a different type of system, there is memory that's needed in order to make the agent more sophisticated. Talking of memory, there can be different types of memory, consensual memory, episodic, short-term, long-term memory. So these are the main components, if you like, of an agentic system. These are the sort of essential components that make it more sophisticated. And talking of the key features of the AI agent will have a certain level of autonomy, and the more autonomous, the more sophisticated the AI agent will be. And it will also be goal driven, meaning that it will work towards attaining some goal. It will have some goal where it needs to reach or, what it needs to achieve. And it also perceives from the environment. It is adaptable, meaning that, an advanced AI agent can adapt itself, it can learn, it can change itself, and it can kind of evolve into a better agent, if you like. And it can also be collaborative. So advanced agentic system, like multi-agent systems, they can collaborate. Like you can have more than one agent just simply passing message between each other and achieving a task that is quite challenging. So those are the kind of key components of AI agent. So let's look into how we can sort of classify the AI agents. One way to look into classifying them is based on the level of intelligence or the level of interaction that they do with the environment. And we can also consider the level of collaboration that goes between the agents when you have multiple agents in the system. So broadly, we can say that they can be classified into simple reflex agents, model-based reflex agents. As it gets more sophisticated, we can have goal-based agents, utility-based agents, and we can also have learning-based agents, which can be highly advanced, sophisticated agents. So let's look into each of them one by one. So let's start by looking into a simple reflex agent. The agent, of course, has an environment that it interacts with. The agent receives the signals or the percepts from the environment. It could be, some data that is perceived by some sensor, and it goes into a decision-making system. Because this is a simple reflex agent, the decision-making system is not very sophisticated. It may not even have a model. It could just be if-else condition. And based on the condition and based on the sense data, we make a decision as to whether we need to act or whether we do not have to act. So if it decides to act, then the action actually impacts the environment in turn. So think of a thermostat where you have an air-conditioned room and you're constantly perceiving the temperature of the room using thermometer. So the measurement of the temperature is what you get from the sensor, and you just have a condition here saying that, if the temperature is below 22 degrees or 23 degrees, then actually turn on the air condition. And if it's not the case, then don't do anything. So this is a simple a reflex agent. And so a simple reflex agent is applicable in predictable environments where you very well know what exactly will be there in an environment. Then you can deploy a simple reflex agent, and the rules can be very well defined with some logic. Again, think of thermostat where you can actually define a temperature and say that, whether we need to cool or not. And good examples of simple reflex agents are, traffic light systems or your automatic doors where, if there's a person before the door, then open. If there's no person, just close the door. So all these come under simple reflex agents. These are very basic agents. So let's move on to something slightly more sophisticated, which is model-based reflex agents. So the main change here is the introduction of memory, otherwise called the state in robotics. So we have states which stores the sensor data, the action data of whatever has happened in the past. And on top of having conditional action rules, you may also have a simple machine learning system that feeds into the decision making. For example, the ML system can predict something based on the sensor data and say to proceed with the action or not to proceed with the action. But in any case, we do have a state that is religiously tracked when it comes to model-based reflex agents. So the model-based reflex agents, they act in slightly less predictable environments. So a good example is the robotic vacuum cleaner that we have in our houses these days. So the vacuum cleaner should store where the areas that it actually covered in the room so that it need not have to revisit those areas. Though it is a predictable environment, it may come across some obstacles when it's moving around that it did not perceive or did not map when it was actually put in the room. So these are the kind of examples that are actually model-based reflex agents. So the next level of sophistication with agents is the goal-based agents, where we introduce goals. So these agents are quite intelligent and they work towards achieving a goal rather than simply working with some state. They also have state, but they now have goals. So whenever they perceive the environment, they come up with a plan first. And using the plan and using a highly capable AI model, they actually try to execute some action, or in fact, they come up with a few action items. They execute the action that is the best. And once they execute the action, the loop continues till the goal is achieved. So in case of goal-based agents, adaptation is quite essential because you have a goal, you are working towards that goal, and you first come up with a plan, you're coming up with action A, action B, etc., and you're weighing as to which action to perform and you execute it. But then the environment gives you a curveball and you decide that action is not great. Then you have to kind of redo the plan. A very good example is that of autonomous driving. You give a destination to the car where it needs to go, and then the vehicle starts driving, but then it can come across road closures, it can come across obstacles on the road. Then it has to change the plan, it has to even do some diversion, it has to completely come up with a new plan and then execute a new plan of action. So that is a very good example of a goal-based agent. You can go ahead and build even more sophisticated agents, and those are utility-based agents. So the utility-based agents have the powerful tool to evaluate. So basically, utility-based agents, they don't just achieve the goal, but they actually use the best possible way to achieve the goal. Basically, they look for optimizing based on your criteria, and that criteria is defined by using a utility function. So you provide a utility function to the agent and you define the utility function and you define a way to somehow quantify to say that this goal or this way of achieving is better than that way of achieving your goal. The agent decides between action A and action B and thinks that action A is better because it has a rationale to decide which is the quantity or which is the evaluation it does, and so goes for action A over action B. So that is what I mean by multi-criteria decision making. So it has a multiple criteria to decide which is the best thing to go for. And there's also trade-off between competing goals. You can have multiple goals. A very good example is that of autonomous driving. So if you go in Google Maps and put a destination, you can optimize for fuel efficiency rather than just getting to the destination and you compromise over speed. So that is a good example. And if an autonomous driving car decides it wants to optimize for fuel efficiency, that car is utility-based agent rather than a goal-based agent. And another good example is that of a financial portfolio agent. And the trade-off is there could be multiple ways to get rewards or returns, but the agent has to evaluate each of the available options and then decide which one is the best balance between risk and return. So that's another example of utility-based agent. The last but the most sophisticated AI agent is that of learning agents. So in case of learning agents, you have critic. So basically, whatever the action that the agent does, it is sensed back from the environment by using a sensor, and that's fed back into a critic. And the critic in turn feeds a learning element. And the learning element is tied to a performance element. So the learning element can evaluate different criticisms that it gets and kind of improves because it can evaluate the performance based on different parameters that it changes. And finally, in order to do that, it generates a new problem, it evaluates it, and it goes through this loop until the entire agent itself evolves into a better one. And then finally, it does the action, and the action in turn is executed in the environment, and the loop goes on and on. So a very good example of learning agent is the autonomous robots itself. So they become adept at navigation. For example, the terrain in which these autonomous robots move is going to change constantly because you don't know what is going to come as obstacle. You don't know how the terrain is going to be, a sandy terrain, or is going to be a slippery terrain, or whatever be it, but the robot has to kind of adapt itself. And it also needs to interact with humans, and humans are quite varied, and the inputs that they get from humans can also vary a lot. And the next example is that of recommender systems. Again, users or humans here, so you don't know what sort of inputs you're going to get into the recommender system, but the system needs to become better at recommending by learning from the user's behavior. And each user has a separate behavior, and so the system needs to adapt per user. So these are a couple of good examples of learning-based agents. So to summarize, we saw about these kinds of agents. Simple reflex agents are fully observable, and good examples are automatic doors or traffic lights. Model-based reflex agents are partially observable, are good in partially observable environments, and a good example is robot vacuum cleaner. Goal-based ones are involved when you want to come up with a strategy for kind of achieving a defined goal. A good example is autonomous navigation of a robot or an autonomous car. Utility-based agents are needed when you have a specific criteria or you want to optimize for decision making. A good example is that of a financial portfolio management agent. And the last one is sort of learning agent, which is needed when your environment is evolving and it's quite dynamic. Then you need recommender systems. So when your environment is evolving and it's quite dynamic, then you need a learning agents that can evolve along with the change in environment. Good examples are recommender systems. So that pretty much wraps up our review of different agents that are available for us in the literature. Let me know if you want any hands-on on any of these. Leave a comment below if you want to see any hands-on videos, and I will endeavor to get some hands-on videos as well. Until then, I'm signing off, and I will see you in my next one. Take care.